out of the kitchen, getting that counter chipped. We can get some tiles on it. If you are working with cement, you have to wet the top of the surface and you've got to soak the tiles. If you are working with multi-bond, you keep everything dry. But if there are dusty areas like this, you've got to make sure that they're completely devoid of dust. You're using multi-bond. Like the table that I have made here was made with multi-bond and tiles on wood. Stuck so darn hard that I can't even repair this damaged tile. You can see all the people who are on YouTube who are doing the repairs of other people, they don't curse them. You see, the cardboard fitted perfectly to the corner here, but the tile was to accommodate this side of the sink and the clean edge, the polished edge of the tile and the length. Now basically this was a polished end, or he might have cut the end. If I know those idiots, they would have cut the end of the tile here. But it would have been a perfect fit. But if you think about the length of the tile, the unfortunate thing is I can't do the cutting myself. Otherwise, I get severe suffocation. Look at this tile here. Can you see? Now this tile shows you the length of the tile perfectly. So, it would have been able to go into that corner there if they had cut it properly, but they didn't, and they're workmen. So what do I do? So what they've done is they've gone and cut it off in one point and they've destroyed it. The beauty of the tile pieces, I'm telling you, can be a very expensive exercise. Now the surface is damaged, the original surface. It's getting a bit untidy and it was getting really difficult to maintain, so I'm reconverting a white cemented countertop to a tiled countertop, doing it myself. The two areas serve soak because there's dust on them. හරි හැන්ද කරගෙන හීන් බදාම තට්ටුවක් දාන්න ඕනේ. සෙන්ටිමීටර් භාගයක්. හරි ගුලි කොහෙවත් නැහැ. ඒක පුරවලා දාන්න. ඒක මදින්න එපා. කියන්නේ දැන් අපි දැනට මගේ මේ ගැරප්පුවක් අරගෙන take a fork ගැරප්පුවක් අරගෙන නැත්නම් පියා ක්‍රිස් ක්‍රොස් අදින්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේකටත් ඒ වගේ කොලොප්පු දාලා ක්‍රිස් ක්‍රොස් කරන්න ඕනේ. If you have a tooth fork built in a foreign country, you can get all these, but you can't get them here. ඔක්කොම අයින ඔක්කොම චීන් තට්ටුවක්. So what we're doing is making two cement surfaces for them to stick to each other. මේ කොනකේ ඒ වගේ කොන හොඳ නැහැ. දැක්කයි උඩ ඔක්කොම පුරවන්න ඕනේ. See what they do is they forget us, and then I've had the whole problem of doing this entire floor. The whole job of this floor, I had to pour cement in through the tile edges because I didn't want to use the recommended methods that were given on the tube. But I bought the drill here, and I'm going to have to do some of these tiles again because the fact that I might have to drill them. But I'm hoping that the ones in the middle, when you walk itself, you can hear the sound of the resonance from the tiles that are not properly rounded. Because you're doing a counter, you've got to take the edge of the tile. තවත් centimeter දෙකක් දෙන්න ඕනේ because they added tile එකක් එනවා. There's a tile coming on the side here. Now I've had good luck because I bought these tiles and they seem to fit in with the counter. But some people are not lucky, you know what I mean? This happens to be a sheer coincidence. I'm always blessed in this cottage of mine. I don't know what it is, but there's like a pre-plan that even I don't know about. Make sure it's straight, make me ඉස්සරහට දාන්න. ඔව් තව ටිකක් because කොලොප්පු දානවා මේ ටයිල් එකටත් මේ පැත්තේ. හරිද? ඔව් හරි. ඒ පැත්තෙන් වැඩි, ඒ පැත්තෙන් මේ පැත්තෙන් වැඩි, ඒ පැත්තෙන් අඩු. පිටිපස්සට ගන්න. Take it back. හරිද? නෑ යාළුවා බලන්න ඒ අයින බලන්න මේ අයින. දෙකම පිටිපස්සට දාන්න මේක මේක. Here this is the amount of, can you see that? That's the amount of cement that you will have to put underneath because you're going to put a tile underneath as well on the lip. හරි දැන් මේ අනිත් ටයිල් එකත් ඒ වගේ කරන්න. this level ගෙලා අපි බලමු කොහමද යන්නේ. මේක තමයි කරන්න තිබුණේ පොළොවේ. They finished off 3 bags of Aztec cement grout or cement rendering for this floor, and it was still hollow tiles. Enough to drive you nuts, you know. If you're a person who's a workman, when you get a job like this, you just praise and thank the ignorance of the workers, because otherwise you wouldn't have a job. I'm setting positive, not when I'm doing the work on my own. You see, I'm not giving it to anybody. But anyway, I'm showing them how to do it. Thought I might as well show them how it's done, but then we don't have any problems. ඒකට ඔයාගේ කොළොප්පු මේ පැත්තේ දාලා නැහැ. නමුත් දැන් ඒක දාන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා මේ පැත්ත පාත් කරනවා. හරිද? සතුවක් දාන්න. ඔව්. හරිද? ඔයා මේ පැත්තෙන් කොළොප්පු දාන්නේ නැහැ ජීවිතේටවත්. I said you don't ever put say cement rendering on this side, because the fact that basically you're going to be mucking around the rest of your life with one tile. So you're not going to do that. Truncheon that you need for this kind of job. Don't put anything less or anything more than less than 1 to 2 centimeters of cement. And also there is a tile, the weight of the tile itself. These are floor tiles that I'm using for the counter. So what you do is, that's the truncheon sort of thing I call for a meat mallet. If you have got a tooth rake to do that cement rendering to get what you need for your levels. So there is a slight rise here. Basically it's alright. Which we are just because they made a hole here. That's the problem. You got to one has to be lifted on this side. If you're a perfectionist, that 1 centimeter will drive you mad. Sri Lanka, we use our fingers. That gets you your ragged edge that you need. Otherwise, if you've got a smooth surface, I'm hoping here without tools. So we use iron to okkama දාන්න ඕනේ නේ iron තමයි වැරදි වෙන්නේ. I said don't forget the edges, because that's where everybody forgets the edges, and that's where you have the problems with the tile sitting properly. It has to be covered completely. The entire surface and even the corners have to be done. All the edges have to be done. Supposed to do a clean job. You make sure that your centimeters are, that the holes that they made in the surface are causing a problem. And that is always the problem with getting workmen to do your job for you. But I wouldn't have been able to do all the chipping. I would have taken a day probably to chip it. You know what I mean? Work with a will. If you have a drill, you can make your holes much faster, I think. I've got a drill. I don't want to be using it to spoil my drill bits on a concrete surface. But this is a kitchen counter, Better than the one that was here before. It looks rather beautiful, doesn't it, my kitchen now? I want to have a wooden table in here because the green table was a bit too leaky. At least I don't have props underneath everything now, which is a real blessing. Rather attractive, right? I showed them that the amount of grouting on the tile and the amount of grouting on the surface had been completely forgotten on this side, and then they're wondering why. Now, this is a very odd shaped corner, as you can see. Cut out the shape, but you have to remember that you can't do it on the reverse side, okay? We're doing it on the top of the tile because they actually wasted one tile. The fact that they put on the underside and they cut it and they're asking me why it doesn't fit. Not the most intelligent creatures in town. It happens. I find that a lot of the people are not matched with my intelligence. But I must say I'm not doing too badly with these people, the ones who are working with me, because on the whole they are very obliging. And if you're creating tiles of different shapes to fit into an existing counter, they've done quite a good job at the back here. All the ragged edges will be covered by grouting. On the whole, it's not a bad job. It's not going to be grouted yet. What you do is you use good old cardboard to get the shape that you require. So I cut the shape. This is the shape that I drew, but they couldn't understand this. Anyway, you can work with people is to show them how it's done. So this shape had to be copied. This is what goes into that corner there. See, the cardboard fitted perfectly to the corner here, but the tile was too small to accommodate this side of the sink and the clean edge, the polished edge of the tile, and the length. This was a polished end, or he might have cut the end. If I know those idiots, they would have cut the end of the tile here. But it would have been a perfect fit. If you think about the length of the tile, unfortunate thing is I can't do the cutting myself, otherwise I get severe suffocation. Look at this tile here. This tile shows you the length of the tile perfectly. Would have been able to go into that corner there if they had cut it properly, but they didn't, and they're workmen, so what do? Stuck with them. You see, this was a perfect fit in that corner. So what they've done is they've gone and cut it off in one point. They've destroyed it, the beauty of the tile piece. All these things that the people say can't be done, like this is the shower bathroom, but I put it here to get hot water for the sink. This house is a work in progress because I'm always inventing something and trying to find a method of putting things that are not normally supposed to be in this place. I put them in places where they're not supposed to be, and they work out pretty well in reality. So I'm very good with shapes. Only problem is you're going to put this on the reverse side of the tile and cut it, and it works, right? So you make a piece of cardboard, take the shape, then you cut it on the other side in reverse, which is what I did, and replicated it for laying tiles. This is absolute rubbish. The wall is not looking too bad. I'm just getting them to now paint the edges of the tiles here. This is absolutely unsightly. And they happily tell you that it's looking perfect. I told them, well, it's perfect for you and rubbish for me. So anyway, this is a very odd shaped counter because it's going off. I've got ellipsoidals and I've got trapezoidals here. And this, of course, will have to be taken off because these are markers, permanent markers, but you can take them off with a bit of Scalex. General chemical industries in Sri Lanka, pretty good. And the price is reasonable, 1,000 rupees for. I'll eat it, I think. Make a ibara karandoni, may aina. The cleaner the job, it's easier to clean up without you making an utter mess of things. I'll be putting another edge to this tile here, this finish. I'm going to put another tile on top of it. I have to measure this tile and I'm going to take the top edge. So the measurement would be about that, from the thumb to the top. That's about your width, finger length. That's the size of your tile. Some pretty good tile layers on YouTube and they've done a very good job. The problem is I'm a poor person, sorry. So now what I do is, but they have got all the equipment and tools and I haven't. So I have to use my intelligence. Third world country, we don't have all the tools and gadgets that they have got, like squeegees and rubber grouters and what have you. We are using just a spatula here to fill in the cracks and grooves. Now, once you fill it in, you leave it for about 10 minutes to dry. This is waterproof grout. You can buy two varieties of grout. One is a waterproof grout.